So good morning everyone to the next satsang. Let's just quickly do a check-in that I just known what space you are at, and we'll start with Vanessa.
Good morning everybody. All good here. I had a good week. I did my first ever yoga session, ever. I loved it so much, but it's quite embarrassing. So I've got to practice my moves today because tomorrow is the next lesson. I don't think they've ever seen anybody as stiff as me, but it's wonderful. I loved it. So yes, that's my news for the week.
Cool. Well done. Nikki.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, we've had a busy week. We've been doing lots of work on our build, so that's satisfying. You know, it feels like there's some progress there. Feeling a little bit negative though, feeling all the stuff that's going on, the politics, and I'm battling to detach from it. Normally I can, but I'm battling a bit with that.
Okay.
But overall not bad. It's just that's niggling at me a little bit.
Yeah,
that's me.
I understand. Cool. Next. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. Hi. Yeah, I have had a good week actually. Work slowed down a little so I could spend a bit more time with the kids during the week rather than just hard graft. And yeah, enjoying just getting out and doing a little bit of exercise every day. And I'd love to start yoga again. And I don't know what's holding me back because it's the best thing ever. So I hear you, Vanessa.
Cool. Welcome. Anita. You have to unmute yourself before you start talking.
That's it. Thank you. Hi there, everybody. I've had a good week. Been doing lots of reading on Kryon and Elizabeth April. Yeah, pretty much enjoying myself. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Maria.
Hello, everybody. Also had a good week. In relative terms, I spent very little time on media. So in terms of hearing what's going on around, you know, in the world and politics and all of that, it was actually really nice to have very little to do with the media. And I didn't have enough time to be on WhatsApp, you know, as much as normal, seeing everybody's comments and, you know, stuff. So I thought that was quite good. Spent about 3 days in and out of hospital departments and all sorts of things health related, and so that just made me going through all the screening at every point, and that just didn't make me unsettled, actually made me feel quite grateful for just the safety of my family, the fact that everywhere in the world, my family's all over the world, no one's left in South Africa, but everybody in lockdown, and just realizing there's so many families going through so much, and there's a lot of fear around, and just feeling grateful that I'm not in that fearful place. I used to live in that space full time years ago, and just, I think because it's my birthday and all of those sorts of things, just getting to a space, realizing there's lots to be grateful for. So I felt a little bit guilty at one point about feeling grateful when there's so much sorrow and distress in the world, but and then I thought, no, hold on, I'm sure that contributes to lifting the vibrations generally. Yes. So I'm going to be comfortable with my gratitude. So that's me.
Awesome. Thanks, Maria. Barbara. No. I'll unmute you.
Okay, no, I'm done. I'm done. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I've had a good week. Like Nikki, I think I have become a bit bogged down with the negative stuff, politics-wise, in this country and in other countries. There seems to be just a general feeling of chaos around. but I managed to find that Osho book.
Okay, yes.
Yes, that you put something from it on the portal, and it's wonderful. And I've been practicing meditation on my own. Normally, I meditate. I do a guided meditation or something like that because I'm not able to get into it on my own. But I've been sitting in the garden, looking at a tree, and trying to get into that space on my own without any help. And it's been wonderful. We've had great weather, so it's been possible to do that. And also I've been feeling very grateful, like Maria. Yeah.
Good. Wonderful. Denisha and Sagri, check in for us.
Hi everyone, happy Mother's Day. It's been an interesting week. I miss work, but I'm grateful that this time I get to spend like Mother's Day back at home in South Africa. So that's good. But overall, yeah, definitely a sense of gratitude and just trying to enjoy the space at home because we don't know how long that's going to last for as well. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. I'm feeling very grateful and very happy. I have my daughter by my side this year. Last year I was really depressed and I was so withdrawn because she wasn't here. So I am absolutely grateful and thankful that she is here and I'm getting to spend Mother's Day with her. And I'm grateful for everything.
Wonderful.
Thank you for a beautiful session, even though it hasn't completely started. Thank you.
Most welcome. Welcome. Thank you for joining again. It's always nice seeing you part of this. Mickey, want to check in first?
Morning, everyone. This week has been good. I didn't think I was going to survive because there was no public holidays in between, but it was a good week. And and the clearing, I can feel a shift. So thank you for that.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let me just put this one there. There you go. Okay, so me just sticking in. Yes, this week has been interesting. Lots. I actually felt I did that full moon invocation, and I found it very, very powerful. I did it collectively at the in my rooms, at the portal, and it felt I was on such a high for about 2 days. Like, it felt like there was such a great shift. When I do things, I do it with a great intent and with everything that I've got. And when I empower others, I empower myself. So the energies was just so high, and the supermoon has just contributed so beautifully to that. And I must say, the day after that, I also woke up with such gratitude. So much gratitude. I haven't felt gratitude for my journey for the last 2 months so much. Been more of other feelings, but I just, and it's beautiful when we can get to that, because we get into it and then we get out of it and then we get into it again. We not necessarily always constant. We can work towards that, but we are human and we go through all these feelings, so it's all natural. But yes, like the intensity of the gratitude was just such a beautiful experience of being where I am, of what I've been through, of what I have around me. And yesterday I actually thought in the feelings of gratitude, I'll make lunch after my appointments for everyone here on the plot, and we had lunch together, and it was just like we played music, and I haven't laughed like that for a while, so it was just good feeling like a human, because sometimes we need human interaction and just engage with others. So yeah, I've been doing that, so yay. Yeah. Alrighty, so this is the fourth one, and I think most of you have been through this that we've done in this series. We're still busy, and this is the last one of past lives, present fears, reading from the Kryon book, one of my favorites. The Parables of Kryon. Now, a parable is a story, and most of the stories in the Bible are parables because there's various meanings to it, and it's got various benefits in understanding the messages. So what I find with a parable is when you read it at a certain consciousness level, you get a message, and then later on when you read it again, oh, now I get it, because it's as if the penny drops even further with more consciousness that you bring to it. And then if you read it later, it's like, oh wow, now I get it. So we get to epiphanies and realizations and stuff like that in time as our consciousness shifts and awareness becomes grander and far greater. Then we realize so much more. And this is so the reason why I started with this, because it is to help us release this fear consciousness, the collective fear consciousness. So we're not just doing it for ourselves in coming together like this, so we are also shifting it for the group consciousness. So we're putting in different energies in that. But as Kryon so many times say, and in the Journey Home, my favorite book, it boils down to everything is not as it seems. And sometimes we get to, I want to say, either judge others for their behaviors or for their things and not understanding why they operate the way they do, why they fear the way they do. But it's to actually just have a lot more compassion for oneself and then for others, because you don't always realize what they've gone through to create that fear, and their fear is real. Although it's false evidence appearing real, they feel it's real, although it's an illusion. And sometimes we look at others' fears and we think, why would you fear that? And then they look at our fears and they say, why would you fear that? Because if you don't have that fear, then you just don't have that fear. But it is so these are sessions just to reflect on what is the fears within you and how can you shift that? How can you release that? So that you can liberate yourself from that fear and master that experience. Okay. So today's session is about the fear of enlightenment and commitment. Okay. So I'm going to start reading this parable to you. So, just to recap, Kryon is talking to 4 people in the crowd that has had different life experiences and different fears in those experiences, and he's now talking about one of the ladies. And it's to see how does it apply in your life or to others, or yes, okay, or have compassion for those that had to face something similar. So this is a time more than 4,000 years ago. You, dear one, are female and are in a marvelous procession. The parade started at the palace, and through several hours of winding down narrow streets, you're finally at your destination. Flowers are being thrown upon you. And all are shouting their praises for you. You are dressed in a long white flowing gown, trimmed with elegant gold taken from the mines hundreds of miles away. Other women march with you at your side, who look similar in their splendor. Although the crowd is adoring, you do not smile. The protocol is set, and there are ceremonial rules to follow. The procession plods along slowly to the beat of many drums from the magicians marching behind you. There is a large object being carried directly in front of you that leads the parade. It is heavy and has many servants to carry it. The desert air is stifling, and as normal, there is a hot wind blowing about this time of the day. You do not care about the energy you are exerting, for it will make no difference tomorrow. You move ahead, tired but alert. You feel honored for being among the women you are a spiritual leader. You and your fellow marching attendants are about to be honored above all the rest and receive rewards far in advance of any others around you. Slowly, a spectacle winds its way to the designated area where the parade stops. The drum drone on, however, and the magicians move to a place of height as they continue to drum and climb the stairs at the same time. Finally, they turn and face you from their high position. Then they stop. Nothing but the wind can be felt or heard. It's very hot. It has taken days to prepare you. Baths and oils and preparation work by the servants of the king have made you the work of art. Your face has never looked like this. It is radiant and colorful. Your hair has many ornaments. Gold and precious stones adorn your neck and arms. The heaviness of it all is beginning to wear after the many long hours of travel on foot from the palace. But your pride does not let anyone know of this. So here you are, poised at the entrance of the tomb of the pharaoh. You know what is next. There is a hush while the musicians start the song of ascension. A plodding rhythm calls for you to walk very slowly. You and the others creep behind the sarcophagus in practice steps as you descend down a long ramp that will take you into the bowels of the prepared pyramid. More flowers are thrown, incense is everywhere, and you slowly descend down the ramp towards the sunken entrance. As your troop marches down the gradual slope, the ramp walls gives you some shade and color for the first time in many hours. Suddenly, you are inside. It is actually cool here. There is a dampness and some water, and you slowly lose the sound of the crowd from outside. As you negotiate the tunnel, you move into a single file. Another practiced move. Torches now light the way, and the last thing that you hear from the outside is the muffled beating of the slow drums. Reverence is all about you, and the priest leads the way into the final room where you move into the ceremonial circle of eternal life. And wait, you have never been within the actual pyramid. They never allowed it. All practice was done in the palace within a room that was almost identical to another ceremonial circle. Now you know why. The gilded coffin is set into a great stone chamber, and the lid is lowered. The pharaoh's mechanics move the ropes and pull crumbs from the stone lid and quickly disappear the way they came in, almost running in their quest to leave. The priest gives the signal, and you take your place in the alcove with the stone seat. Another signal, and you sit. It feels good to sit, but still you do not smile. The priests take their place as well as remain silent. All is still. Then you hear it, the sound that very few have ever heard from your vantage point, and that none have ever lived to describe. It is the sound that you will know, that you know will be one of the last that you hear as a human. The afterlife awaits, and the boats have been prepared, not too far from you. There have been many years of preparation, yet there is something happening within you. Fear. Are the others feeling it? You are going to die now. This is real. The sound goes on for a long time. Distant as well as close-up, rumblings of lids descending, doors being slid shut, stone after stone being lowered in place with hydraulics that only work one way. Once the sand is gone from the tubes, the stones are down. There's no way to raise them. No thieves will ever be able to penetrate the stone vaults. The Pharaoh's merchants on the outside begin their work to erase the tunnels and build new ones to confuse any who would rob the precious chambers of the king. You know that long before the workers are finished sealing the tomb, you will be dead. The torches are slowly going out, and you realize that soon it will be pitch black. This is the last light your eyes will ever see. The air is becoming stale. You have never been afraid of being in confined places, but this is different. It is your coffin. Still you sit, but now you are shaking. You hear around you mild whispers and sobbing, and you realize that you are not alone in your horror and fear. It is all fine and good to be within a spiritual entourage of the Pharaoh, but you really didn't expect this day to ever come. You thought he would grow much older before he died. Instead, his death came all too soon. You knew that those around him would go with him to his grave, including you. But it was all such a fantasy, something in the future. You committed yourself to a spiritual quest and stood as a leader in the Pharaoh's court for years. Now you are almost in the dark in a small room that will never have air or see the sun again. You fight the panic of it all. You can't get out. It's getting hard to breathe, and it's dark. As if knowing what you are thinking, a priest gets up. You barely see him working in the dimming light. He kneels and takes leaves out of his pocket and mashes them together on the stone floor. The light is almost gone. He takes the remaining smoldering torch and lights the leaves. You see the light of the leaves catch fire in a small pile on the floor. Briefly, you catch a glimpse of the others and their alcoves. Some are wide-eyed and filled with terror. You smell the sweet fragrance, and you know what it is. How humane, you think. No one told us of this. Thank you, dear Sacred One. You send thoughts to the priest as you sense a feeling of escape. You breathe deeply and the smoke of the leaves, and you feel lightheaded. A few more deep breaths and you lose consciousness. There's no more anxiety. The drug has put you to sleep so that you may pass from life into death without caring. Finally, there's a smile on your face. And that's the way the thieves will find you when they finally cut through the stone or steel to steal the chambers, to steal the treasures from your arms and neck, at ones that your king selected to take into eternity with him. Dear ones, you have just witnessed the death of an entire attendant group around the great pharaoh. For this was the way of things. When the pharaoh died, his spiritual attendants went with him to the tomb so that he would have the same aids around him when he went into the afterlife. There is one of you here in the group who fears commitment and enlightenment so greatly that you will literally run the other way before you decide to seek God again. You are uncomfortable right now, and you remember that you get close, and you remember that to get closer to any spiritual intent is to die. Never let it happen again, shouts your innermost being. Your karma is set. Spiritual commitment equals death. It's time for you to change. Again, the love of God will temper your fear. It's time for you to metaphorically re-enter the tomb. For the time there will be no closure of it. No closure of it. The time you may pass through it to continue living on earth. God asks you to consider giving intent for full enlightenment this very moment. Join the group of attendants around the King of Kings, but this time live a grand life on your own while you're on this planet. No horrible premature death will take place if you decide to do this, and your karma will be broken. Listen to the voice of love. It speaks to you now, and know that these feelings never have to visit you again. Never again fear the spiritual path, for hiding the phantom of your karmic fear is the energy of home. And so it is. Now in the author's postscript, he says, these stories were especially potent for the attendees that night. There was a great silence in the room after Kryon finished. The fears of those listening to these words showed that some of them related to the scenarios, even though they weren't not the actual people being highlighted by Kryon. So many of us have walked through similar situations in past lives, that these stories tend to reawaken some dim and distant feelings. And for a moment, the part of us that is God, and knows all things resounds with the truth of who we really are and what we have been through. Some of us incarnated in groups, and therefore many of those listening that night may have actually been there and experienced the same events in other ways. In Kryon's words, it is said again, with all this, is it really any wonder that God loves you so? That's the story of today. So what's interesting about this one is it doesn't matter if it was the time of the pharaohs, if it was the time of being religious and being killed for your religious beliefs, or whatever religious sect or spiritual search that has led to death. So the fear of death is being addressed. And collectively, humanity is currently going through a rebirth. Now, to get to a rebirth, there has to be a death of something. And in our case, it's in most people's cases at the moment, it's the death of the ego. It's the death of what you know. And that can be scary because you only knew how to do certain things a certain way, think a certain way, behave a certain way, make money a certain way, with certain set stuff. And now it's like all the cards are being thrown in the air, and you wonder which ones is going to fall, or which ones is going to be dealt for you. But that is our gift at the moment, because when we stand in our power and when we use our intent, we can actually influence this that is going forward. So we are co-creating with spirit, or we have the opportunity to co-create with spirit our new life, because we are in emergence of experiencing our next life while being in this life. And many times I felt like I've lived many lifetimes in this lifetime. Felt like the old me has died enough. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes and having a total different experience. And I think it's happened about 3 or 4 times. So when I look at my childhood stuff, or even my first marriage stuff, it feels like a total different life. It was a total different Fiona. It was a total different consciousness. It was a total different awareness. Lots of limitations, lots of insecurities, lots of stuff. But I can't relate to that person anymore because it feels so foreign. It feels so distant. It feels so long ago. So the night of when I said that invocation of the full moon, I had many dreams. And in one of the dreams, I would be in and out of dreams and then become aware. So what I did is, on the one program, on the one app that I have on my phone, is you can select certain pictures, and then you say make a movie, and then it makes a movie of those pictures, as I did for the movie that I made for that invocation. And if you don't like a picture, you just click on the picture and you throw it in a dustbin and it's deleted, and then you create what movie you want. And I actually did that with my life. I viewed my life and my life story as if it's a movie, and those bad memories that gives me sleepless nights or whatever, I just dumped it into the dustbin. Those images that's haunting me, I dumped it into the dustbin. Those that I didn't like seeing or experiencing, I dumped it in the dustbin. Those that I didn't like treating me a certain way, I dumped it in the dustbin. And I actually recreated and set an intent of what role players and people and experiences I want in my new movie. Because we have that power. We have that intent to design our life in the way that we want it. So it's what pictures, what images, what experiences would you like to put in your new movie? Because we have to realize that we are the designers of our life. When we co-create with our higher self, we set the intent of what we would like to experience. And unfortunately, when we ponder and think about the negatives or the traumas or the fears, and we amplify the fears, then you call forth, hey, I want those experiences. So we need to be very careful of what we call for, of the experiences that we want, okay? And it's not to fall for those fears. It's not to fall for, yes, there will be duality and stuff, but we can still call forth certain experiences that we want. And in this movie maker thingy that I've got, if you select the picture, then you can say the duration that that picture must go on. So we can make things longer or shorter. Sometimes when we don't get to learn something or go through something, then we just prolong it. So as in one of my sessions yesterday, I said, sometimes you have to go to the depth of something so that you can get to the flips, rock bottom, and then you can flip up again. But now we go through life and we just put our toe in, oh, I don't like this, maybe I mustn't have this. And so we do a little bit and then a little bit and just feel a little bit and then we go there. So we extend the period of the trauma that we should go through. But if we just dive in, it's like that wave coming and going to hit you. Now, how we are taught, you have to face it, and then you walk into the wave and it tumbles you, and you think, oh, okay. You have a couple of mouthful of sand and salt water, and okay. And then you think, okay, I'm going to face it, go wave again, and it tumbles you and it throws your life up. Now you can look at the wave in front of you, the current situations, the current life, the current experiences or whatever. And you can actually decide to go deep down and just dive underneath it, okay? Dive underneath it and pop out on the other side. It doesn't have to tumble you. It doesn't have to throw you. It doesn't have to traumatize you. It doesn't have to prolong, because, I mean, if you're in that wave, the repercussions afterwards is it's still felt, and then you've got some bruises and you've got some, it's not pleasurable. So it's for us not to resist whatever fear is coming up like a wave, that it feels like it's going to take you out. Because when you go through it and you get to the other side, you're liberated from it. You can't, if you're in the after, behind it, it can't affect you anymore, because it's now tumbling and affecting those who stood behind you. So it's to be able to face that, whatever is going to be faced. So on the platter, there's someone that comes to join us on Satsangs, and I asked him to draw a card. And what was interesting is the card that was drawn is the desert. It's the vision quest. I don't know if you guys can see it. Just thumbs up if you can see it. Okay, cool. Yeah. And this was drawn before I read the reading. I thought, oh, so the parable was in the desert, and yeah, we have the desert card, and it's a vision quest. And who knows what a vision quest is? Okay, so in some traditions, they would send people out in the desert or the field or the, I think when, even in the African culture, when they reach the a certain age, I think 13 or something, then they get to send into the field, and they have to be there for a few days by themselves to become a man or to become a whatever. So it's something that is done in certain cultures, so that you can get to where you need to get to, your next phase that you step into. So I thought that it's quite fitting. So I'm just going to read you the end message of this card. It says, A vision quest is a process whereby you spend a few days in the wilderness alone, because you have to face all your fears alone, okay? Typically, you carry only water and some sacred items with you, and you spend most of your time praying and meditating. Many who have completed a vision quest assert that it is a powerful and ever life-changing experience, and report vivid and profound revelations. It is said that the desert does not lie. So partaking in this can help you discover the truths about your purpose and let you get, or at least give you some clues. It is time for you to go on a vision quest. Designed a designated place in nature in which for you to dwell, whether for a couple of hours or for a few days. Spend the majority of your time while there praying and meditating. It is best to be in a location where you can truly find solitude, even if it is in a quiet corner of a park just for afternoon. Wherever you go, take your question, concern, or challenge with you into your prayer and meditation. Allow it to float around your consciousness and watch what shows up. This is one of the most powerful cards. By drawing it, whatever other messages you have received will be amplified threefold. So guess what we're going to do in meditation today? And it's something that you can then continue with for the next 6 days until we get to the next Sunday, and then see what else comes up for you, but we'll start the process. But before we do, I just want to get some of your input of what we've shared this morning. Any takers?
As usual, I'll start the talking. No, I found that parable very frightening. I'm not a person who fears the future at all. I think I've let go of fear. In fact, I know I've let go of fear. I'm not at all worried, even though there will be some quite scary things apparently happening in this shift that we're going through. I'm ready for that. But this made me very frightened, especially the drum beats. And that going up the stairs and the drum beats and then going down into the tunnel, I really felt as though I might have actually been there at some point in my life. I found it very scary. Yeah. But I want to know what those leaves are.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to go out that way. I can remember when I was in Durban, I just arrived in Durban, and in the first past life regression that I did with Barry from the Blue House, I think I was 36 at that time, and somehow I hurt my wrist, but somehow I had a feeling that it's a time that I usually die. It was such a strong feeling that, but usually I die now. It might sound funny or whatever. And as he took me in the past life regression, I actually saw all the lifetimes that I died at that age. And so it's premature. So I saw I was from a Red Indian where I was killed by another guy, and I saw myself being buried alive by the pyramids. So I had that experience. So I know that was one of mine that, because I know I've been a high priest in previous lifetimes. So I have the full memory of that. So, and I know it's fierce. So, but it's interesting that although we've gone through certain things, so sometimes we can overcome it and we can still choose enlightenment regardless of the consequences of previous times, because it's not that it prevents us. And that's why some people, they look at spirituality and then it's evil, it's bad, you mustn't go there, because also of their fears and memories that they have, and they'll just believe that, or people, or vice versa. That chooses a religion, chooses not religion because of the consequences that they had then. So, yes.
Facing the truth, I think. You
Yes.
know, it's so easy to try and pretend that all there is this sort of comfortable life that we live, and people hang desperately onto that. They don't want to let go and flow with the river. And if they just did, then they'd know that it's so much easier to flow with the river than hold onto the riverbank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Anyway,
anybody else would like to share anything? Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Nikki. No one? Cool. Okay.
Sorry,
so,
can I just say something? Sorry. I could also identify strongly with what Barbara was saying and you in terms of it felt quite frightening. Mine was also linked to a past life regression experience, and it was the first one that I'd had. Also, this procession, and I was sort of raised above the rest of the crowd, and there was this very somber sense of moving towards something ceremonial that was not going to be easy, but because it was my first experience, and at that stage I was quite resistant to it, so it took me very much by surprise. I kind of brought the experience to a close, and I never saw how it felt. As you were talking, there was this almost this remembrance, this recognition that's possibly what was happening. So for me, this kind of closed it, and there was almost a piece about it at the end of it, like Barbara said, the leaves, the drugs at the end, thinking, oh, hopefully that's what happened to me then. But something else that was consciously happening now when you were reading was almost the death of the ego, the death of the pride, the death of the fear, the death of those things that we deem to be so much a part of us, and recognizing that actually that's not really the true essence of who we are. Those are things that we've made, we've learned. When we come in, we're not born with all those fears. I know that we've had past life experiences, and karmically there are things that come with us, but I felt like one can take this journey, this destination, in our meditations, in our processes, to actually bring an end ceremoniously to those things that are part of our ego, the pride. So yeah, that stood out for me quite a bit consciously as you were reading. So thank you for that. It was a good choice. Scary, but good choice.
Yeah, sometimes when I read, I think, okay, really, this sounds very scary, and I don't want to bring the hippie, scare the hippie fears in people, because that's everything. But it's to realize how come those fears have been there. Where's the root of those fears? Because sometimes we don't know why. Because there's a lot of people that resist enlightenment, and resist going through that, because following a spiritual path is not for sissies. It's not that easy and just blasé and just blissful and beautiful. Take sometimes blood, sweat, and tears. And literally in the past lives that, but it doesn't have to now. You don't have to die. But you definitely don't stay the same. And some people fear that change because of the unknown, not knowing. You didn't know what's in the afterlife. You don't know what's after you spiritually awaken, because you're attached to the life before, but you don't necessarily have to be attached to the life before. Anybody else would like to add something? No? Going, gone? Okay, so you all ready for the meditation? Okay, so again, I'm just going to recap the intent of this meditation. So it's going to be designed that you go on your own vision quest. So where last time we did something collectively, this is individually. And there will be longer quiet periods, because I really want you just to open up yourself to receive. Don't think, so just really go into it. And as I described that movie maker thing where you can add different things in, I want you to really look at all that is all that was difficult to face this lifetime, all that you don't like, that you don't necessarily want in your life story going forward. Whatever needs to leave, whatever fears it is, whatever programs it is, lie programs, limiting programs, ego allurements, just erase it, just release it, just let it go. Doesn't matter how you do it. I mean, if there can be a fire and you throw it in the fire, then it can fly away in a balloon. Use your imagination. It's not your imagination, it's actually real. So do what is most comfortable for you, and you sit where you choose. So I'm going to take you into a setting, but you set that, and I want you just for a moment to think of either a question, something that's been bugging you, or just set in your mind, just set the intent of what you would like to figure out or have answer to. So just for a moment, just think. What would you like to know more of, get clarity of, release, see the benefit, see the gift of? So any question, any concern, any challenge? Okay. So we will then start. Closing your eyes, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. With each in breath, taking in the consciousness that's available to you now. And with each out breath, release all that no longer serves you. In order for you to be shining lighter and lighter, brighter and brighter. And just allow this tone, this vibration, this frequency to come in through and around your body as you just relax. Whatever fears has been invoked within you, through hearing the reading, just detach, release, and let go of those feelings and emotions now. Being aware of, being in touch with your body. And I want you just to breathe in a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Some deep body breaths. Expand your lower abdomen as you breathe in, and contract your lower abdomen as you breathe out. Calling in your higher light and calling in my higher light and calling in our mission council and ascension council, all of the light. And your guardian angels just to surround you. As I'm taking you in this vision quest meditation, I want you to visualize yourself now stepping into the space, the sacred space that you choose to do your vision quest at. Be it at a desert setting, within a cave setting, within a paradise setting, by the sea, by alcove, wherever it is that you are choosing to go to, where you'll be totally alone to receive your highest wisdom, clarity, and answers. You're surrounded by your entourage of spiritual beings around you that will hold the energy and space for you. Just step into that setting. And I want you just to explore your surroundings. Just feel your connection to the sacred space that you've chosen to go to today. Just breathe in the energies of the sacredness of this space. What's pulsating with high vibrational frequencies, vibrant with light and energy. Sacred space where you connect on deeper levels of consciousness and awareness. Opening up your third eye even more, your inner hearing and your intuition. You feel a heightened awareness of your senses. As the frequencies amplify, so does your sensory ability amplify. You feel a great sense of peace wash over you. Inner peace and tranquility resides here. The sacredness brings up such feelings of gratitude for you being here and receiving this. And I want you to find a place where you're going to sit at. Place that makes you feel connected. Place with a beautiful vantage point. And I want you now just to release that question, that intent, that issue, whatever it is that you set your intent for prior to this meditation, that you would like to know more information about it, or even of your purpose, or even the purpose of certain experiences, whatever it is that you want greater knowledge and wisdom about, or the gift within certain of the experiences that you've had, whatever it is that your intent was. I want you now just to release it with your out breath and allow it just to swivel around you. And as you release it, I want you now just to open up all your senses and awareness. The eyes closed, using your inner eye, your inner ears, your intuition, and your perceptive abilities. I want you just to open up yourself to the download of information that is available to you around that. And I'm going to leave you a few moments with that. Just totally surrender the question, the intent, and sit in total receptivity of the wisdom and knowledge that is available to you in this now moment. It's vital that you continue with slow, gentle, deep breaths. I want you to open yourself up now as you face any fears that you might have had around fully committing to enlightenment, whatever the resistance has been for you, whatever resistance has come up for you, whatever programming or fear. I want you just to allow yourself now to face those fears. And then we're going to just detach, release and let go of that fear or fears, belief systems, or restricted thinking, limited thinking, or programming. And I want you just to say to your intent now, committing to your spiritual enlightenment. And opening up yourself to that experience in its totality. Feeling yourself gaining a lot more inner strength, power, connectivity, awareness, receptivity, for doing so, setting that intent. Being far more aware and awake. Fearlessly. Being powerful in a loving and kind way. As the great masters that have walked this planet. Walking tall and confident. Without a fear in this world. And as you sit in contemplation, I now invite you to look at the movie of your life. See all those scenes. Just reviewing the past of playing out in front of you. Various screens and scenes and pictures and experiences. And if it was a beautiful movie that you would like to continue, you can just press the continue button and it will do so. If there's certain aspects within your movie, within your life experiences that you would like, any buttons that you would like to stop, that you would like to clear, that you would like to overcome, that you would like to release, I want you just to cut all those pieces that you don't want to take within your future movie. Just remove those aspects. I want you now to set your intent, what you would like to co-create with Spirit, and how you would like your movie to play out from this day forward. What scenes would you like to bring in? What would you like to see more of? What would you like to experience more of? What role players would you like in your movie going forward? How should the people in the players that comes into your life treat you? What warmth would you like to create? What connections would you like to create? What is it that you would like to bring into these scenes? How would you like your movie to play out? And I want you just to work on this for a few moments. Just design it the way that you would like it to play out. With your high levels of consciousness and awareness, co-creating with Spirit, heaven on earth for you. How would that look like, play out? Just focus on those scenes and set your intent now. Remember to bring in laughter and joy. joyful experiences, light experiences, whatever it is that you want more of in your life. What support is it that you need in your life going forward? What support do you allow? Remember to bring in the supporting roles also into your life going forward. Calling forth those individuals that play the supportive roles in your movie going forward. If it is that you would like to find out more of your purpose and be on purpose and live with purpose, bring those aspects within your movie now. If it is that you would like to be more confident, more secure within yourself, then bring those aspects and feelings and qualities within your movie going forward. Whatever it is that you would like more of, just bring it into your movie. Set the intent for that. Acknowledgement, appreciation, connection. And leave some open spaces for welcome surprises, allowing yourself to be pleasantly surprised by any event that is even greater, more miraculous, and more wonderful that you have dreamed of now. For the possibilities is limitless for you. And then I want you just to press the play button and allow it to start playing out in your life. And as it does, I want you to bring you back into your body, back into this now, back into this timeline, back into your space. And I want you just to surround yourself now with brilliant diamond bubble of light. See this diamond bubble of light coming down the front of your body, the back of your body, the left side and the right side of your body, and gently tuck beneath your feet, 2 feet below you. Now visualize a grounding cord from this diamond bubble of light, which you take deep down into the core crystals of Mother's, and wrap it around her crystal core. And feel those crystalline energies coming back up your grounding cord and into your diamond bubble of light, supporting your new life, your new story, energizing and revitalizing it, and supporting its manifestation. Feel yourself being connected above and connected below. So connected, so supported, so blessed. And in your own time, gently rotate your hands, rotate your feet, stretch and make sure that you're properly back into your body. And when you are, you may open your eyes. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. I would love you to share, those that would like to share, of what you experienced in your meditation. Yes,
Scott,
Barbara.
I thought it was a fantastic meditation for me. Maybe it's because I've been practicing meditation a bit more this week, but I really sort of got into it more. My intention that I set when going into it was that I felt I'm too distracted by stupid thoughts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And during the meditation, what I did is I realized that all my stupid thoughts are ego related. So I took my ego out of my body and put it next to me in isolation with a cage around it. And then I realized I had no more distracting thoughts anymore. And it was very, very weird. Yeah, that was mine. It was beautiful.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, there's something that I shared with people in the past. I would say, so when you set your intent and you want to connect, you ask your lower ego and your lower mind to step aside and to connect to your higher self. And you choose to think, feel, act, react, express and experience only from your higher self. Because while you have these two monkeys in the driver's seat of you, and they decide what entertainment is playing in your mind of those distracting thoughts or whatever, it's as a field day with you. But when you ask them to step aside and to connect to your higher self, and for your higher self to bring through the wisdom, and that being in the driver's seat and steering your life now going forward, it's a total different experience. Yeah. So well done. Well done. Good.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
As far as the movie is concerned,
yes.
I think I'm the other side of the wave now. You know, I've been through it, I think.
Yes.
There are things I would like to have, people around me I would like to have more of, and that love that you get from having family around. But other than that, I'm through the wave. And I've got rid of all the various Barbaras that have existed over the last 70 odd years. They're gone, and I can see them as they were, but they're not me anymore, so they're gone. So I didn't really play the movie much. The people that I want are still in my life, so that's what I'm lucky with. Yeah, that's me.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Vanessa.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you. I just immediately saw those whirling dervishes that dance in Turkey, and that's all that I saw all the time. That and the Turkish delight again, which is something that always comes up for me. So I was in a Turkish setting, and it was just such a feeling of going into trance, and going into trance with other people, with a group of these whirling dervishes, and yeah, just getting into that meditative state. It was beautiful. Loved it.
Beautiful. Nice. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share something? Anita? Yes, Anita? Unmute yourself before you start talking.
Okay.
There you go.
I love the meditation. I love your the movie. I think it was the greatest gift that you could have given me, Fiona, is the creation of this movie of my life. So in my mind, I'm looking forward to my next sequel of this movie, which I probably will set later this afternoon in my garden.
Wow, sequels, hey? I love this.
I promise you, I couldn't ask for a greater gift. It's something I actually needed. It puts my entire life in perspective, what I don't want. I think we got too much into the movie because I was still putting stuff into my delete basket. So I need to get back there. There's a lot more that needs to go into that delete button. So I'm actually quite excited.
Wonderful.
Loved it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, it's something that you can work on for the rest of the week. You can really play with it, because you see, our imaginations is that's where everything is created from. And I can remember lots of times when I set intent, I like yesterday, my intent was I would like, in Afrikaans there's a word samen zijn. What is it in Engels, Vanessa?
Like the togetherness. Being together.
Just interaction with people and allowing to laugh and allowing to enjoy life and allowing to, and it's like I wanted to celebrate, because there's, and you don't need to have a reason to celebrate. Spirit always, Kryon in most of his things, he says we have to create ceremony and celebration, because when you bring that and we do that, Spirit says, oh, you like that, okay, we'll give you more of that. But when you wallow in your misery and you continually ponder on that, oh, you like that, we'll give you more of that. So you have to remember to set your intent of what it is. It's better celebrate the little things, even if it's just celebrating with a cup of coffee, or just that feelings of gratitude that you got to feeling this week, or by the end of the week, or whenever you felt it. Guilt-free, Maria, guilt-free. Yes, you're putting good things, gratitude out in the world. It's beautiful. It's awesome. Yes, that's what we need to do. Celebrate the little things. Celebrate the blessings. Celebrate the blessing that you are. Celebrate the blessing and the power that you have to co-create now some new, beautiful things. Because when you do, those role players that want to play that role will step into your life. And they will do that with you. And it is, okay, you might not have the family now around that you would like, but others that feel like family might enter and give you that warmth and give you that encouragement, but allow that, not, oh, I don't have my family around now, so now I can just be miserable because I don't have that. It's like soul family, spiritual family that I have heart connections with. I invite you now to come and play with me. Come and have joy with me. Come and laugh with me. Come and have a drink of coffee with me. Come and have a meal with me. I know we're now in lockdown, and not all these things are permitted now, but it's like we're not going to be in lockdown forever, okay? So we have this powerful period of co-creating what we want going forward. It's like we have to use this time of imagination now to its fullest, because it's a gift to us. It's a gift, and to use that gift. Sorry, I'm just getting very passionate about this, because we have abilities and we need to use it.
We need to create the movies.
Yes. Write a new book, new chapters, new everything. It's like, really, what do you want in that? And it's like in your meditations, use that. Anybody else would like to share anything? Maria.
I was just conscious of how in a lot of the sort of vision quests that traditionally, you know, may have gone on or go on, how alone and scary it could be for some individuals. But I was so conscious as I sat in my sacred space, from when I first did a meditation with you, at you know, in 2017, and my guides entered the meditation, I've never felt alone ever again. And just I was so conscious of, in the new movie that we're setting, in the new book that you're writing, the new story, the sequel that Anita's going to write, it isn't alone. So yes, we are, many of us, alone in lockdown. Many of us, families, you know, for me, my family's overseas. I don't have anybody in South Africa, but there's not once been that sense of alonement, you know, aloneness, loneliness anymore, because of that sense of that spiritual team that we have, the guides that we have. So informing the new story that we want and setting the new intentions, that vision quest that we go on, be mindful of bringing your spiritual team with you in it, that you are co-creating, as you said. You're not creating this on your own. So there's great relief in that, and excitement in that creativity.
Yeah.
So that's me. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Just let me see, somebody's... Okay, so Vanessa said that she wrote a guided meditation a week ago based on Kryon's Compassionate Action channel, and the times we are going through now. If you'd like to send it, her email address is vanessa@thatlittlevoice.co.za, and she'll send it out tomorrow to you, that you can listen to it again. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. So you can take her up on that if you'd like. All these tools and all these assistants that we have, that's just beautiful. Thanks for the participation, and thank you for that. So yes, anybody else would like to share anything? For the Nix? Yes, unmute yourself.
Yeah, just quickly. I agree with everybody in the sense that it's thanks for giving us this tool, just reminding us that actually, and I'm certainly going to now use this for the next week or so. It's something so simple, but it's extremely effective.
Yes.
I found the releasing of stuff so easy. I mean, it just went with the wind, like within seconds, you know, things were just flying away, which was amazing. I mean, there was no resistance at all. And yeah, there's so much more in terms of bringing, you know, or attracting in the intent and releasing. So yeah, I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thanks, Mother.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that everyone? I would like to thank you for participating today. Thank you for being part of the circle. Thank you and bless you. And please make your movies wonderful. Have some humor in them. Have some, whatever you choose. Really be playful, and I bid you the most magical week. Enjoy your meditations throughout the week, and you're setting your intent and working on this movie. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week Sunday again. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Love to you all.
Very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Cheers.